Coco Gauff faces difficult draw at US Open. If Coco Gauff is to win a second US Open crown in 3 years, she will likely have to navigate one of the more difficult draws on the women's side. The No. 3 seed and 2023 US Open champion, Gauff opens play against Asla Tomljanovic, ranked No. 84 in the world. Gauff, who recently hired Gavin McMillan to work with her on her serve, could face 4-time major champion and No. 23 seed Naomi Osaka in the 4th round. After that, Gauff could potentially have to beat 3 other major winners, including Australian Open champion and fellow American No. 6 Madison Keys in the quarters. In the semis, Gauff was drawn to meet Iga Swiatek, the No. 2 seed who is coming off winning the Cincinnati Open on hardcourts and also won Wimbledon this summer. In the final, Gauff could potentially meet defending champion Aryna Sabalenka, winner of 3 hardcourt majors. Gauff did not participate in the highly successful mixed doubles event this week at the US Open, preferring not to waste mental energy on it, so she could focus on singles. She now has a new coaching team in place, with an aim to improve her troubled serve. She was out with McMillan on Arthur Ashe on Wednesday, and the practice courts, to work on her serve. Gauff parted ways with Brad Gilbert last year after Gauff's 4th-round exit at the US Open, where she failed to defend her title. Gauff is 4-4 since winning Roland Garros and lost to Jasmine Paolini in the quarterfinals in Cincinnati. It's crazy how quickly you can lose your confidence, ESPN's Mary Jo Fernandez said this week on air. You win a Grand Slam title and you think you're riding this wave and it's going to carry over, and it doesn't always happen. For Coco, she had a really tough draw at Wimbledon, playing Diana Yastremska in the 1st round, a big powerful hitter, so that was I think unfortunate for her not being able to work her way into the tournament. And then on the hard courts she has struggled, primarily with her serve. I think that's the one shot that if she can settle down and find a way to feel confident that she's going to make a majority of her first serves and rely on what she did a couple years ago, winning when she wasn't playing her best and making her opponents beat her somehow, making it more physical, then I think she'll get back to it. But right now, for me, it's mental. The US Open is New York's annual festival of dreams, loud, chaotic, and unforgiving. For Coco Gauff, the defending champion and America's brightest tennis star, this year's journey begins with a heavy weight on her shoulders, a brutally difficult draw that could test her resilience before she even reaches the second week. At just 21, Gauff has already learned that Grand Slam titles aren't handed out, they're clawed from the jaws of exhaustion and pressure. But as the 2025 US Open draw unfolded, her expression betrayed both amusement and steel. The path ahead of her is littered with danger, former champions, rising prodigies, and relentless power hitters. The early rounds, no room to breathe. Most top seeds dream of a soft opening week, the kind that allows rhythm and confidence to build. Not Gauff. Her first 2 rounds are filled with tricky floaters, players ranked outside the top 30 who, on their best day, can take down giants. Her projected second-round opponent is a former Grand Slam quarterfinalist who thrives on hard courts. I can't afford to think past anyone, Gauff admitted. Every match here is a battle. The risk isn't just losing early, it's being dragged into marathon matches that sap energy. For Gauff, efficiency will be key. The deeper she goes, the more she'll need her legs and lungs intact. The middle gauntlet, rivals lurking. Should Gauff survive week 1, the stakes only grow sharper. In her section of the draw sits Mira Andreeva, the teenage sensation who has already made headlines for dismantling higher-ranked opponents with fearlessness. The prospect of a 4th-round clash between Gauff and Andreeva has fans salivating. A battle of youth versus youth, experience versus audacity. But that's not the only landmine. Also in Gauff's path is Naomi Osaka, the 2-time US Open champion staging a resurgence. Though Osaka is seated lower, she remains a player nobody wants to see across the net in New York. Gauff knows better than most that on Ashe Stadium, Osaka transforms into something unstoppable. A matchup against Osaka in the 4th round or quarterfinals could feel like a final in itself, draining Gauff before the latter stages. The semi-final roadblock, Swiatek again. And then there is the shadow of Iga Swiatek, positioned on the same half of the draw. Their rivalry has become one of the defining storylines of modern tennis. Swiatek, the calculating chess master, Gauff, the lightning bolt of athleticism and aggression. For years, Swiatek had the upper hand, dismantling Gauff with precision. But last season, Gauff finally cracked the code, using aggression and speed to flip the narrative. If they meet in the semifinals, it will not only be a clash of styles but a clash of wills. It feels like destiny at this point, one commentator said. Every slam, we circle Gauff and Swiatek and wonder when the collision will happen. If Gauff gets there, it will be the kind of match that defines tournaments, maybe even careers. The final bosses, Sabalenka and Rybakina. Even if Gauff battles through the treacherous half of her draw, the final isn't guaranteed to be kinder. On the opposite side sit Aryna Sabalenka and Elena Rybakina, two of the most destructive players in the game. Sabalenka, the current world no. 1, is the embodiment of brute force. Her serves crack like thunder, her ground strokes punish mistakes, and her confidence is unshakable. She has beaten Gauff before in major finals, and she will be hungry to reclaim dominance in New York. Rybakina, meanwhile, is the silent assassin. Her effortless power, calm demeanor, and ability to flatten rallies make her a nightmare matchup for anyone. Against Gauff, she can neutralize speed with angles and pace. Facing either in a final would demand the best match of Gauff's career, on the biggest stage, under the brightest lights. The mental weight of a difficult draw. The physical challenges are obvious, but the psychological ones may be heavier. Gauff is not just another seed, she is the defending champion, the face on billboards in Times Square, the player whose name the crowd chants late into the night. Every opponent knows that beating Coco Gauff in New York means more than a win, it means stealing the spotlight. That reality makes her draw even more dangerous, as lesser-known players will swing freely with nothing to lose. Still, Gauff insists she thrives under pressure.
I don't see it as a tough draw, she smiled.
I see it as a chance to prove myself again. Preparation, fine margins matter. To tackle this gauntlet, Gauff's preparation has been meticulous. Her serve, once shaky, has been retooled for reliability. Her forehand, criticized early in her career, now strikes flatter and deeper. She has worked with sports psychologists to embrace the New York chaos rather than fear it. Nutrition, recovery, and tactical awareness have also become weapons. Every detail counts when the margin for error is so thin. It's not about one big thing, her coach explained. It's about stacking small advantages until you have enough to tip the scales.